It's time for Waka to get some love. How strong is the wild tiger in the manga series Kengan Ashura and Kengan Omega? Short answer, very strong. But let's get into the specifics of this mutant. He stands at 193 centimeters and weighs 193 kilograms. One of the biggest flexes in the series, to be honest. But first, everyone watching needs to be a mad lad and leave a like on the video, subscribe to help your boy out, and comment below who you want me to cover next. Now, let's begin. He's most likely the most veteran active fighter in the Kengan matches, at least when it comes to Kengan Omega, with an insane 309 wins and 3 losses over around 20 plus years. This makes his monetary worth on screen here, converted into USD, very impressive. He's shown to be a monster who uses brute force alongside his Rokushin karate, with some decent grappling experience under his belt. However, something that I believe is understated about Waka is his intelligence, with many just writing him off as some big brute who goes for those big strong punches going brew. Even though he does also do that, throughout the series he's shown to be the one describing and explaining certain things, like the whole torque increase Ohma gets from the advance and various other things I'll talk about later. We learn a few important things from his character profile. This is in a Kengan Ashura context. The author says, I had him set up in the number 2 veteran position as the one character who could go toe to toe with the Fango Metsudo Kano Agito. He originally fought by pure strength, but after being defeated by Kano, he worked on his technical aspects as well, and that regardless of his natural born superhuman body, he's a hard worker on top of that. It's important to note his first 2 defeats by the hand of Hatsumi and Kano were like around 8 years prior to the events of Kengan Ashura, with Waka greatly improving since then, developing his blast core and grappling experience, and also shown to be better against soft styles, which is still a weakness of his, but has shown to be able to counter Ohma's redirecting kata and some of Fei's soft space techniques in Kengan Omega. He was born as a mutant in the Kengan series, having the Superman syndrome, which puts his muscle fiber density 52 times that of an average person, giving him power that exceeds human limits. So much so that not even the Kure clan can come close to Waka in terms of muscle alone. Also, on a side note, his muscles don't disappear with age, but continue to grow throughout his life. Waka is simply the definition of built different, crushing titanium controllers at 7 years old, punching through brick walls as a kid, and then doing this to mountainsides in his 20s. A true monster, with each normal strike of his possessing impact on par with a knockout punch, meaning if he lands a single blow, he could seize control of a match, making him extremely dangerous to fight. This links into one of my favourite panels in all of Kengan, Ohma talking about Waka. It's the pure pressure of a man who's incredibly strong. These types are the toughest to handle. Apart from that, we learn that the Kure clan have resilience that exceeds human limits, with someone like Ryan having potentially more than defensive specialists like Seki and Sorpang. Then we have exceptionally rare cases, where a monster is born from a sudden mutation, kinda implying Waka is above all that. This is another flex space panel of Waka, just destroying these 5 people with insane legends associated with them, pretty much portraying Waka as someone who just, low diff legends. Now let's look into the fights he has throughout the series, to get a better understanding of his power, speed, durability, and any other aspects. Punch Go Brew, big crater in the wall of course. Can lift up Gozo with one arm while he has Waka in a lock. His clash with Julius at the start made the stadium shake, and potentially made a mountain shake when striking Fei in Kengan Omega. Was able to knock out Julius with a head kick, and just a little bit of a flex crater here. Even when you guard against Waka's strikes, it doesn't really help too much, as Mutaba pointed out, and Ohma mentions that his regular blows are heavier than Kure Ryan's, could also mean removal Ryan, as Ohma faced that form as well, calling his power a 50 with his Nico style indestructible a merely 10. In his fight with Fei, Waka was able to do decent damage with regular blows, even when Fei was dispersing the impact and guarding, with Fei being extremely desperate to avoid his blast core throughout the whole fight. And speaking of blast core, let's explain it. It involves all the muscles in his body being compressed towards a single point, and then releasing them in a form of a no motion reverse punch in traditional karate, making it have a maximum range 2 fists shorter than a regular punch. It's safe to say it's a one-shot attack, with someone like Julius thinking he'll go down if it hit his vitals, and Mutaba's arm being destroyed when trying to block it. And just look at how desperate Faye was trying to avoid it during their fight. Now onto speed, you can kinda make this argument for Waka. Base injured Ohma and Ashura was relative to Cosmo, who was using 2-step ahead foresight in their fight, and a non-foresight Cosmo was at least somewhat relative to Justice Boy. Waka was relative to that very same base Ohma, meaning he isn't top tier but decently fast in Ashura. Then in Omega he got something akin to a mental amp against Faye, saying, "I too have pride in myself. I cannot possibly lose in a contest of physical prowess," forcing Faye to use maximum output Divine Demon. And when chucking his final blast core, yes, Faye dodged it, but he was kinda keeping up with this version of Faye, which is very insane and does show how much of a mental amp Waka actually got in this scenario. Durability for him is kinda off the charts, surviving a beating from Julius, who was equal to him in strength, a heart jab to the neck, and rose from the Demon's Bane front kick to his jaw. A reminder that Ohma's attack here featured the power of Waka's base level punch, plus Ohma's base level kicking power, and of course the placement of the kick is crazy to think about that Waka still got up. More on that, it's stated in the series that the human leg is 3 times more powerful than the arm, even more insane. Then of course he survives an insane beating from Faye, kicks to the back of the head, busted Nicker style Ironbreaker attacks to the face, insane Furio blows from Divine Demon Faye, even pushed Faye to kill himself just to knock out Waka, of course resulting in the draw. You could probably make a decent argument that Waka is the most durable character in the Kengan series, or at least very high tier. His fighting IQ was kinda touched on earlier, but he's able to come up with anti-Nicker style tactics in both Ashura and Omega, with characters like Cosmo being called a genius for doing similar things. We see this panel of Waka talking about pre-initiative in the battle between Kanna and Croaky, with him being aware of when they will begin, showing that he has a pretty high understanding of pre-initiative, which of course is the apex of foresight. He was able to defeat Mutaba with a tactical approach, of course paired with his superhuman body. Remember that Mutaba is someone who likes solos war zones. His direct Omega improvement is kinda hard to say. However, he used the blast core a decent amount of times without the mention of his ankle throughout the whole fight. Maybe he's found a way to limit the severity the ankle gets injured when using it, or maybe it's fully recovered. Regardless, we can say at least 4 blast core can be used without any drawbacks. He has more advanced anti-Nicker style tactics, and probably on a base level is stronger and faster like all Omega characters compared to their Ashura counterpart. Waka by no means was nerfed in Omega. He faced a character that was hyped up for over 100 chapters, who could be considered a true prodigy, even though Faye could have defeated Waka at various points but wanted to flex, with Waka also demonstrating his insane will once again, and to be fair, he didn't get defeated. A mutant who can change a fight's outcome with a single strike, who doesn't give up and always strives for victory regardless of the risk. This is How Strong is Wakatsuki Takeshi. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know your thoughts of the video down below. Try to amp up the quality for this one here. If you haven't already, make sure to join the Discord to talk more about Kengan greatness. Follow the Twitter, it will be greatly appreciated. And as always, shout out to these people who support the channel via the Patreon. You can check it out, linked in the description as well. But yep, that's it guys, peace!